Hello, this is Dave, and welcome to Equity Story. The markets, have been a little bit nervous the last few days, and looks like we're sort of gone back, and we're looking at support around that sort of 5,300 level. So hopefully we should hold that. I do actually see the Dow, and I'll just show you the Dow at the moment. The Dow is actually trading in a much more. There's a long-term chart on the Dow. It's looking obviously a lot more positive than RASX 200. And even the short term, although it's a very, very tight range, it's still holding up really well above a really sort of aggressive trending line. So, the Dow is definitely behaving a lot more bullishly than our market. And I think even, but most probably what's even more interesting is that, we had some pretty interesting GDP data on Wednesday, which confirmed we've had 25 years of uninterrupted growth. We got interest rates obviously at sort of record lows at 1.5%. So possibly this negative sentiment is maybe sort of not really a little bit an overreaction, most probably to obviously I know the market was hoping that possibly the European Central Bank was going to extend its stimulus program. It didn't do that. It did affect our banks a little bit today, but I think we should hold this trend line unless we get something, unless we get obviously some sort of black swan event. So hopefully next week will be a little bit more bullish. And certainly, actually, the few trending stocks, and we have been warning you that it's going to get a little bit tougher over, last week we were expecting the market to sell off, and we have been warning to be a little bit careful. But really, FXL is looking really good. It's held up really well in a difficult week. It's holding above sort of a longer term trend line, and paid a really good dividend this week. So I think its share price action's been excellent, as has Burson again. Bounced back off that really sort of short-term 20-day moving average. I don't think you can get anything sort of more bullish than Bapcor, BAP. As with again ORE, we put this on. What do we say? It's it's trading a little bit higher than when we put it on. But again, what a fantastic setup! A great company, fundamentally very, very exciting, and around this sort of $4 level, I think it's obviously excellent buying. As with obviously FPH, again, this is why we've gone into some of these trends at the moment, because we have been a bit nervous the market, but I don't think you can get a better rock solid trend than FPH. And even GHC, one of these sort of boring solid trends we've gone into, got a nice little buy signal happening today, and again in a difficult market up 2%. So all in all, those sort of trends I think have been doing pretty well. Focus is disappointing. It is holding a trend line, and it should hold that support. And I'd be very, very surprised if it didn't. And certainly if it didn't hold that support, I'd be maybe a little bit more concerned. However, it is one of what you've got to do with these graphs is squash them up and give them some sort of idea of concept of how they've moved in the last sort of 4 years. And again, I think as you can see, it's one of the great sort of trending stories on the market. So although we didn't really pick this one at the right time, we're certainly pretty bullish that this trend will continue, and hopefully it won't be long before we do make some money out of it. One stock we put on today, SIP, again had a great sort of MACD signal, and had a tremendous sort of earnings announcement. We think it looks really bullish, and these are sort of stories we like. We like these stocks making obviously first record highs in a pretty difficult market, and again with some great earnings number, great price action on the charts, and hopefully this should do really well next week. Just having a look quickly, every week we put these sort of weekly buy and sell signals out, and the idea of those is give a guidance, and we do have quite a few traders that do short-term trends on the market, and SKT had a classic buy signal. It was the only one we had really last week, and actually did really well because it ended the week more or less even, but gave a nice sort of 3% dividend. So SKT actually did absolutely brilliantly, as did some of the bullish stocks. Actually, they held up really well. ISU obviously had a great move. You can see there. I think it was let's have a look, bring this data a little bit closer. You can have a look here. Opened the week at sort of 150 and went as high as 164 and ended at 162. I had a really bullish week in a tough market, and again, let's have a look here. This Hansen Group, it's one of our favorite trending stocks. Opened the week at 556, went as high as 456, went as high as 473. GUD, again, opened the week at sort of 1002 and went a little bit higher, but basically ended the week flat. BAP, one of the stocks are trending at the moment, opened the week at 620, went as high as 638. CCL, again, opened at 976, went as high as 997. AGA, and you've got to remember the market's retreated nearly 2% this week, ended the week up, and AIA, I don't think it had such a good week, did end the week down. Did initially had that move up, had that bullish move up, went from 739 to 754, but then obviously sold off under pressure. TME had a nice jump up for us so it really hit that bullish momentum. 537 went as high as 570 and then paid a really nice dividend. TWE, really 1130, went as high as 1149, but then closed a little bit lower. I don't think RHC did that well. NXT, unfortunately, we picked the bullish movement in it, but it opened really high. It opened at 439 after closing last week at around 409, but then it sort of trended down with the market, but it's certainly still looking very, very bullish. And actually all those a lot of those stocks that we said were going to be bullish this week have all maintained a pretty bullish pattern. And some of the stocks we said would be bearish, I think the big warning sign, and I think they do give us tremendous guidance, and obviously they picked up on that EHE again, and that again had another big fall. It opened at 275, went as low as 218, and since then it's fought its way back. But again, it's really it has really picked up the momentum really well, as did it with companies like PAC and Qantas and CCV. So all in all, I think generally speaking, these weekly buy and sell signals continue to give pretty strong guidance of what stocks could do well each week and what stocks could do badly. And to be honest with, in a topsy-turvy market, I'm actually, these signals I've been sort of using them for years, but and they really, when you get a market which has got plenty of momentum, either one way up or down, they obviously give even better guidance. But even in this sort of topsy-turvy market, they've been doing very, very well. Anyway, I'd like to sort of thank you and welcome a lot of new members to Equity Story, and have a great weekend. And I look forward to hopefully a more green week next week, and I look forward to bringing you this report on Monday. Thank you and good night.